A Venezuelan migrant's uncertain fate. The story of Daniel Zacarias Matos. Daniel Zacarias Matos is a Venezuelan migrant. He arrived in the United States with his young daughter in December 2023. They were seeking asylum, hoping for a better life. Matos found himself caught in a legal battle that could have far-reaching consequences. In October 2024, he was detained for violating probation on a dismissed misdemeanor charge. He was then transferred to a detention center in March 2025. The U.S. government sought to deport Matos under the Alien Enemies Act, or AEA. This act, dating back to 1798, allows the president to detain and deport citizens of enemy nations. Matos's case, however, has raised serious questions about the act's use in modern times. He is not accused of terrorism or espionage. He is a father seeking safety for himself and his daughter. Matos's case landed in the courtroom of Judge Fernando Rodriguez Jr. in Brownsville, Texas. Judge Rodriguez issued an order temporarily halting Matos's deportation. This decision provided a temporary reprieve but set the stage for a larger legal battle. The case garnered national attention, becoming a flashpoint in the debate over immigration and executive power. Matos's story is not just about one man's fight against deportation. It is a stark illustration of the human impact of sweeping legal decisions. His case underscores the ongoing debate about the balance between national security and the rights of individuals, even those who are not U.S. citizens. A nation divided. The Supreme Court's decision on the Alien Enemies Act. On April 7, 2025, the Supreme Court issued a 5-4 ruling that sent shockwaves through the legal system. The court allowed the Trump administration to resume deportations under the Alien Enemies Act, or AEA. This decision overturned a lower court order that had blocked the deportation of several individuals, including Daniel Zacarias Matos. The court ruled that legal challenges to the AEA must be heard in Texas, where the detainees are held. The ruling deeply divided the justices. The dissenting justices, including Sotomayor, Kagan, Jackson, and partially Barrett, issued scathing critiques. They argued that the decision was dangerous, inexplicable, and rushed. They expressed grave concerns about the potential harm to individuals facing deportation without due process. The dissenting justices also highlighted the risk to U.S. citizens. They feared that citizens could be mistakenly detained and deported under the AEA's broad authority. They argued that the court's decision undermined fundamental principles of due process and fairness. This landmark ruling ignited a firestorm of controversy. Supporters of the decision praised it as a victory for national security and executive power. They argued that the AEA is a necessary tool for protecting the country from dangerous individuals. Opponents, however, decried the ruling as a dangerous expansion of executive power and a threat to civil liberties. Echoes of the past. The Alien Enemies Act throughout history. The Alien Enemies Act, passed in 1798, is a relic of a bygone era. It has been invoked sparingly throughout American history, primarily during times of war. The act was first used during the Quasi-War with France in the late 18th century. It was later invoked during World War I and World War II. During these conflicts, the AEA was used to detain and deport individuals deemed to be enemy aliens. These individuals were often targeted based on their nationality or ethnicity, rather than any actual threat they posed. The use of the AEA during these periods remains controversial. It is seen by many as a dark chapter in American history, marked by xenophobia and discrimination. The Trump administration's invocation of the AEA in 2025 marked a significant departure from this historical precedent. The administration sought to use the act not against citizens of nations with which the United States was officially at war. Instead, they targeted members of a specific criminal organization, the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, or TDA, which Secretary of State Marco Rubio had designated as a terrorist organization in February 2025. This unprecedented use of the AEA raised alarm bells among legal scholars and civil rights advocates. They argued that it set a dangerous precedent, expanding the act's scope beyond its original intent, and potentially paving the way for its use against a wider range of individuals and groups. A precarious future implications for immigration and executive power. The Supreme Court's decision on the Alien Enemies Act and the ongoing case of Daniel Zacarias Matos have profound implications for the future of immigration enforcement and executive power in the United States. The ruling grants the executive branch broad authority to detain and deport individuals deemed to be enemy aliens, even without a declaration of war. This expansion of executive power has raised concerns about the potential for abuse and the erosion of due process rights. Critics argue that the AEA could be used to target individuals based on their political beliefs, religion, or other protected characteristics. They also worry that the lack of judicial oversight could lead to the wrongful detention and deportation of innocent people. The Matos case highlights the human cost of these legal battles. Matos and his daughter, caught in a web of legal complexities, face an uncertain future. Their fate hangs in the balance as the courts grapple with the limits of executive power and the rights of non-citizens. The Supreme Court's decision is likely to have a ripple effect on immigration policy and enforcement for years to come. It is a stark reminder of the fragility of civil liberties in times of heightened national security concerns. The case of Daniel Zacharias Matos serves as a powerful symbol of the ongoing struggle to balance these competing interests in a nation grappling with its identity and its values.